Hi, everybody. If you can hear me. I think my computer is being crazy, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to skip that part of it because it's really not important anyway. It was just the introduction. Most of you probably have already seen it. So today we got Levi with me. Hello to everybody in the chat. Forgive me if I don't pay attention to chat during this. I'm trying to run 3 different things at one time. It's the first time I've done that. So let's get started.
Click one of the tabs there. There you go.
Can y'all hear that?
Yes. You got to mute.
Oh, come on. I don't know why it's doing that. Can you still hear it?
No, you have to mute your
Town Packers golden locks flowing in the wind.
That's echoing.
Noticed a change in her son when she remarried. Aaron new stepfather Johnny into the home.
Mute yourself.
Didn't always get along.
The mute button right there. Yep.
Okay, maybe my other computer was too close.
There, I think. Try it now. You got to turn up your volume on the actual video, I think. Go back to your StreamYard real quick. So see where now when you clicked on your screen, the one that's all good where you're screen sharing, you clicked the volume, unmute yourself once. Yeah, the one right there. Try that real quick. All right, now go. Is video playing? Go to the video and play the video once and see if that works. Now there's no sound. Go try it one more time. Nothing. So push pause. Go back up to your StreamYard there. Click on that. Yeah. Let me see. What's the one? So see where you have the stop cam and then the mute button. What's that? So the one that you're sharing the screen there, but the other one is muted there. You see right above where it says stop cam, it's muted. Right above there, it's muted. The one behind it. See the little square? Yeah. Click that once.
Okay, let's try this.
There,
I think I got
there
it.
you go. I can hear you now.
Okay.
But I still don't hear sound. Yeah, try that. When you shared your screen originally, there's a little button in the bottom that said share audio. So like you're gonna have to stop sharing your screen. All right,
Okay.
now go ahead and share your screen again. Nice background.
Oh yeah, that's the house that he destroyed. That it was his mom's house.
I see the 30 symbol over there, up there in the top, up above me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it tells you to share the
System
screen.
audio.
Yeah, do that. Yep. And then you're using headphones, right?
Yes.
So then when the audio plays, you'll hear it in your ears and you should be able to stay unmuted. There you go. Click that. Yep. All right. Now try it.
Worshiper, addict,
There you go. Perfect.
murderer who left the bodies of 2 men to rot in his backyard in Clements.
He would eat the heart of it and then burn the flesh of the rabbit.
This is John Alexander Lawson. He and Pazuzu are different, but the same, because they're the same person.
Little Johnny was not right, and everybody knew it.
John Alexander Lawson was born in San Francisco, California in December of 1978, raised primarily by his mother, Cynthia, who took pictures of her baby in the bathtub, smiling with his straight blonde hair and piercing blue eyes, dressed up like a cowboy, hat and all.
Well, he was in the Cub Scouts, and I was the den leader.
Cynthia was raised in Forsyth County. Having graduated from Parkland High School, the pair moved back to North Carolina when John was 2. For years, they were a normal family. He was a normal boy, with his blue Royals jersey and bat on his knee.
And then he got into football.
In pads for the Pofftown Packers, golden locks flowing in the wind.
And he just kind of, no more sports.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can. Now I can.
Oh, so I was pulling a purple, as they say.
Oh, that's fine.
So anyway, all right. So I'm going to play this, and then I'll go back to what I was saying.
Okay.
Here we are, closer than we ever were. Heart and soul, whatever come between us. Dear love.
All right. So that was part 1. A normal little kid basically grew up with his mom and dad until he was 8 years old. At 8 years old, that's when things really started to change. his dad moved. They had moved when he was like 2 to North Carolina.
You're frozen. Hello, everybody in chat. I don't know. I can't hear her. She froze for a second. Hello, Karen. Hello, Blang. Hello, Nisi J, Mississippi Granny. Thank you all for coming in here. I know nothing about this case, and I kind of did that on purpose because I want to learn from It's All Good, just as well as you guys want to learn from you all. It is a very interesting. I saw some pictures of this, and I saw other creators that had done some stuff here and on it, and she's gonna fill me in on what we need to know. There you are. You're back.
Yeah, I don't know if my internet's glitching or what, but anyway.
No, usually. So just so you know, when you do stream video, it takes bandwidth. So sometimes I have that same problem. Just so you know. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so let me mute my phone. I should have already done that. What did you hear? What was the last thing you heard?
Just start as you didn't even say anything.
Okay. All right. So you saw the pictures of the beautiful little boy. By all rights, he should have been a normal kid. He was born in California to Timothy and Cynthia Lawson. And when he was 2, because of the financial difficulties, they moved to North Carolina to Winston-Salem. Well, as you saw the pictures, he played football. He played baseball or Little League. And when he was 8 years old, his mother and father split up. His dad went back to California and never had really contact at all with Johnny, as his mother called him, or with his mother at all. Neither one of them. So at around almost 9 years old, he started being abusive to his mom. And I have a clip here of a neighbor talking about him.
So before you play this, where did they live before they moved?
They lived in San Francisco, California.
Okay.
And because of the economy, it was really expensive there. They didn't have enough finances to live there.
Okay.
So they decided, because his mother, Cynthia, was originally from North Carolina, from Winston-Salem. And that's Forsyth County. I may say Forsyth County later on. But he, hold on, I got to get through this ad.
Okay. So they lived in San Francisco, and then they moved to where?
They moved to Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. That's right.
So if you don't know anything about Winston-Salem, it is really okay. Yeah. But for those that don't, if you've ever heard of Wake Forest University, it's a huge learning hospital is there. So that's one of the biggest things about it. So then his dad, I'm trying to get through this.
Disenfranchised.
Okay. Commercial that's on there. His dad moved back to San Francisco and left them in Winston-Salem. After that, no more contact. He didn't have a father figure. At some point, his mom remarried and to a man by the last name of James. And little Johnny didn't like this man. All right. Listen to this.
Yep.
He was my best friend, and my son become very best friend with Johnny. He come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He stay at the house. 6 o'clock in the morning. There he is in the morning. I love that little boy because to me he was very nice. He was a good kid. Wants to be a vampire. You know, he was a vampire in his mind. He was. And I met Johnny. He was weird. He wore this big cape, black cape with his teeth. He was so little and so tiny. You know, he was very skinny. And he loved the movies. You know, like he watches Jason, Freddy Krueger, the vampire movie. He was all those people. Sometimes he does things that were kind of out of place. When Johnny was probably probably 8 years old, Johnny was very abusive, you know, of her.
Okay. So that was the babysitter. And I don't know how much you could understand of what she was saying, but she adored Johnny. The problem was that he was allowed to watch these movies at 8 years old, like The Exorcist, vampire movies. He literally thought that he was a vampire. So this woman, the babysitter, she also tells about how his mom would leave on a Friday and then not come back till Sunday or Monday maybe, and just leave Johnny with her. When the mother was there, most of the time, she was drunk. So this kid had no real direction with his mom. And like I said, at 8, 9 years old, he started actually hitting his mom. Didn't get his way, he hit her. Whatever made him mad, he would abuse his mom.
What age did they move from San Francisco?
He was like 2.
He was like 2?
Yeah, because he was born in August the 12th, 1978, and they moved to Winston-Salem in 1980, so he was 2.
Okay.
In 1988 is when the parents split up, and his dad moved back to California, and they stayed in North Carolina.
And that's when he would have been like 9, right? When his split up.
Right at 9 when they moved to the new house at 2749 Nob Hill Drive in Clemens, North Carolina. Now, one thing to note about Clemens, North Carolina is, well, actually, North Carolina is in the Bible Belt. Clemens, North Carolina was a very, very close community, a Christian community. Everybody went to church, you know, everybody had dinner with family after church, you know, your typical little Christian community. And of course, he didn't like any of this kind of stuff. So he would do whatever he could to go against these people. So he repeated 2nd grade, and then he was supposed to be repeating 9th grade, but he dropped out of school. There's not a whole lot more known about his childhood. Other than what I just told you. Everybody said it was pretty normal, other than once the dad left and the mom became an alcoholic, and maybe she was before. Maybe that's why, you know, part of the reason they split up. So anyway, he decided that he was going to change his name to, and I don't have it right this second. Let me see. So he was getting influenced by Satanism and was looking for, a suitable name to fit him so he could change his name to that. So he then decided he was going to change his name. This was in 2002 when he did that. And he decided on Pazuzu Ila Algarad. Pazuzu is an Assyrian demon of ancient origin. It was in the movie The Exorcist. I've never watched The Exorcist, so I don't know if anybody that's watched it. They probably know that this demon was a big part of the movie. He claimed that he could control the weather, that he had magical powers. Now, his mom did try to get him some help when he was younger, but she said she simply couldn't afford it. I almost doubt that, and you'll know why I say that later on, once I tell you some of the other things about the mom as he got older. But he was diagnosed with agoraphobia and schizophrenia. And at the age of 13, he started drinking heavily, almost a 12-pack a day at 13. So when he quit school in the 9th grade, he started looking and hanging out with people that didn't go to school, didn't have jobs. Basically, some people call them the misfits of the community, the weird people. I
think, did you freeze again? Just a second. I think she froze again. Welcome in, Darkness Exposed, the Missing in Georgia. Oh, there she goes. Your camera's frozen and we can't hear you, just so you know. And it might be too much bandwidth with the cameras on, maybe. But anyways, this is a very interesting story. I've never even heard of it. So I'm learning as well of anybody else here that hasn't heard it. Hello, True Crime and Coffee. Welcome in. Just a second. She having a little technical difficulties here. Sit tight. The house walkthrough. It happens. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it does happen. It's just something as a creator that you can expect, even if you've been a creator for a long time, to happen at some point in time. We can still see your screen all good there. Just so you know. Go ahead. All right, we'll take over. This is now the level-headed show. Missing in Georgia, definitely not for long most days. She'll be back here in a minute. True Crime with Sunshine. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello, sorry. I ended up shutting my computer internet off for right now. Hopefully that'll help. I won't be able to show you as many pictures or whatever, but that's okay.
That's okay. You're doing great. I'm getting the story from you. You're doing a great job. And just so you guys,
there we go.
So you newcomers in here, I did share out your thing. So you newcomers that are in here, this is It's All Good channel. And it's all good. Does a very, very good job of doing research and taking notes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So, he decided, I guess, okay, he decided he was going to change his name to Pazuzu Elah Algarad. Elah is God, or Algarad. They're all, I guess, Assyrian names. And so like I said, he was diagnosed with agoraphobia and schizophrenia when he was very young, but didn't get any good treatment, didn't get, a lot of support from his mom. His mom pretty much let him do whatever he wanted to do. And when she remarried, the stepdad and now Pazuzu did not get along at all. So she asked him to move out, and he did. And she said, just let me talk to him and work with him, and we'll work it out. Well, as you're going to see later on, she did a great job of working it out. She said she had noticed a change in his behavior, and then comes the day that he chokes her, and at this time he's an adult. So then he chokes her so bad that she passes out. She does press charges against him, and he gets 12 months probation. It's sad, though. It's really sad that our mental health system is not better, because a lot of these crimes that he committed may have could been prevented. I don't know. So part 2 is becoming Pazuzu. I don't think I'm sharing my screen anymore. I need the internet to share my screen, don't I?
No.
I don't know if it was being lagged down by everything I've got open.
Well, are you on your phone right now, or you're on a tablet?
I'm on a laptop. I mean, a tablet is what I'm streaming me from.
Yeah. Oh, so it will
I just turned my phone's. I just turned my phone's internet off, so maybe that'll help. Because I really want you to see these pictures.
Yeah. So when I go live, I turn off my phone internet, my Wi-Fi on my phone, because it does something and interferes with it. So, but you'll have to. You should be able to do it if you go into StreamYard on your computer, and still you can stream from your tablet or your phone that you're on right now. But you just go in there and and then share your screen again, and it should do it.
Okay.
Hello, Kendra Bell.
Yep. Hi, everybody coming in. I am learning, and this is the first time I've used multiple computers or phones or tablets or anything like that. So
it's okay. We all have been here at one point.
And for whatever reason, I can't even find the internet now. That's just crazy. Okay. We'll get on with the pictures more, because this is going to take more than one day to do, obviously. There's just so much information to share about it.
So what did here, just for my sake, what did he do? Because I have no clue. What was the end result? And this is what led to the end result. But what is the end result? Like, he ended up in jail?
He did it in prison. Murder of 2 people.
Okay.
He told his friends that he had kidnapped and murdered and ate because he was a cannibalist too, the bodies of 2 prostitutes. That was never proven. He was never charged with it. Everybody just thought he was bragging to make himself look better. And then he was charged. He was charged for accessory to murder. And basically you got a slap on the hand for that. The guy the first guy that he was charged was Joseph Emmerich Chandler. And I'm talking more about him at a later time also. All the victims, I'll be explaining about them later on and how they got involved with him. But it's amazing to me. You can see behind me, that's a picture. That's a picture of the mom's house. And this house, apparently one of the neighbors that he went to school with, actually, hi hubby. Can you take that to the porch? Thank you. Actually, the house was beautiful. It was clean. His mom took care of it. And one of the girls said that he actually went to high school with her. She used to give him a ride home from school occasionally. Seemed like a normal kid. Now, remind you, this is like 9th grade. And then when you see the pictures later on of the house, it's so disgusting. So disgusting. So now that we're like, okay, he's become Pazuzu. Again, I can't show you the pictures because of the internet thing going on right now. Okay, maybe I can. But anyway, it was nothing to have 30 or 40 people in this house at a time. He told people that there was, they were talking about the smell and everything in the house. And he was like, that's just the bodies in the basement. And they didn't believe him, except for the ones who was accessories. And we'll get into that also later on. But these parties, people would walk around naked, 2 or 3 people at a time having sex. If they had to go to the bathroom, they liable to go in the corner and poop on the floor. They pee on the floor. Nobody would clean it up. Sometimes the dogs would come and eat it. His mother, so we're going to get a little bit into her. So his mother, once a month at a full moon, would buy him a rabbit to sacrifice. He was known to be extremely cruel to animals. The whole house was destroyed, completely destroyed. I'm trying to get back to the share screen. And I, as a mother of 3 boys, one of them who I've never hid is my youngest one is a meth user. But there's no way that I would allow him to do the things. And she lived in the house also. The only thing that was clean was her bedroom and her bathroom. And the kitchen wasn't so bad, but the drainage had been kicked off. And, instead of dishes being in the dishwasher, when they opened it, it was full of guns and knives.
Wow.
The mother may be a whole nother case because of all the things that she knew about. For instance, one of his victims, she was in the bathroom getting ready for work. And this victim, it's in my shared thing, so I can't get it right now, but his name. But I will share that later, and a little bit about him, a little bit about his ex-wife. So the mother heard a gunshot, went into the living room, and actually before she got to the living room, she heard a couple more gunshots. Looked, saw the guy laying there, and looked at her son and said, "Clean it up." She went back to her bathroom, finished getting dressed, and left for work. When she got home, she said, "Did you bury it?" He said, "No, it's just down in the basement. I covered it up with cat litter and bleach." So there was a second guy that he also killed that she knew about. He had a girlfriend that lived with them. He had all these girls, several women that stayed at the house. And he said they were his fiancés, all of them. And they would pretty much do, there was especially a couple of them would pretty much do whatever he asked. I mean, if he asked them to kill somebody, they're going to kill somebody. It was almost like a cult that he had built around him. And the other thing I didn't understand about this whole thing is how the neighbors let this go on. Now, they said they complained. But apparently he also had a systemic failure because the police didn't do their job. Like I said, a lot of this could have been prevented if they had have done their job. If the psychiatric hospital had done their job. If the police had done their job. Now, mind you, the two bodies were buried in the backyard, and the police were notified that there was two bodies buried in the backyard. They went with a search warrant, knocked on the door, and he said, "We're here to do a search of the backyard. We understand that there's bodies in the backyard." He looks at them, says, "Nope, nobody's in my backyard. Can't come in my house. Search warrant don't cover that." They did go look in the backyard, but did not find anything at the time. So there was an incident where one of his friends was over, and he was probably one of the better guys of the whole group because he left and went into the Army kind of while this was going, first starting out. But one day he was over there, and Pazuzu asked him to kill this guy that was there. And he refused completely. He was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And he took Pazuzu by the hair and hit his head on the counter, and it knocked him out. So he went and got the guy, and he said, "Look, come with me." He took him to Red Lobster, took him out to eat, sit there and talked to him and told him, "Pazuzu is trying to have you killed. The best thing you can do is leave and never be seen around here again." And the guy took his advice. So this guy saved his life, one of the person's life. But this guy that went into the Army, when he got out of the Army, he came back and he went, this is his second time going to the police, telling them there's bodies in the backyard. And they really didn't believe him. But then he's like, "Look, I'm telling you, I just got out of the Army. I was there. I've seen stuff. I've heard stuff. I'll tell you whatever you want me to tell you. But this guy is dangerous." So they took him serious. They got the search warrant. And oh my goodness, they said that the officers, the CSI, everybody was so disturbed by what they saw in this house and how it could go on for so long. Even though that, they've been told about it, but they didn't believe it. Why, I don't know. But I've tried to get into that. I haven't found anything of their excuse of why it didn't happen. Okay, if you want to talk for a second about what I've told you so far, I'm going to try to get this up again.
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting, the psychology that goes behind this. And that's why I was asking when his father left. It seems like he was lashing out when his father left. And
Absolutely.
that happens sometimes when habitats change for people or feelings change for people. It doesn't mean to do everything that he was doing, though. Tell you that much.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people with, mental disabilities, but they don't do this.
No.
At all. All right. Hopefully this don't kick me out again.
You're fine.
I'm going to try to share the screen again. I have been interested in this case for a really long time. I had asked someone that was doing stuff like this if they wanted to do it. I mentioned to them, they checked into it. They're like, oh, absolutely. But then they left YouTube, and so they didn't do it. So I was like, okay, I'll do it myself. And I've just been trying to find the right moment
You're
to do that.
Great.
Thank you. All right. Okay, a little bit. It's all good. All right. Here we go. Let's see if we can finish watching this one.
Cynthia says she first noticed a change in her son when she remarried. The pair and his new stepfather, Johnny, moved into the home on Nob Hill Drive in Clemens. But John and Johnny didn't always get along, and John became a recluse.
I told Johnny that I wanted to just maybe I can work with him.
The couple separated, and neighbors say that's when they started seeing John outside again.
And we had so much fun. I mean, he always made me laugh.
Where he was rarely seen was at school.
2008, when it was really obvious that he had changed.
He'd repeated second grade and ninth when he dropped out.
Yeah, and that's basically it. He didn't go to school. It wasn't because he failed. He just didn't go to school.
His appearance shifted. The long locks were shaved off. His dress became more gothic.
He was wanting to hang out with people that I didn't want him to hang out with.
She brought him to what was then the Reynolds Health Center on Highland Avenue, but he wasn't there long.
I think that I loved him too much. Okay, whatever you want to do.
Then he started searching for ways to change how he saw the world, with a forensic evaluation showing he started regularly consuming alcohol at age 13.
There's this one guy that was doing math and John into doing that. And
okay. So that kind of just told you what I had told you, but in a different way. I'm trying to find. This is the evaluation that they did on him. I'm not sure if it's this exact one, but one of the psychiatrists said that he came in, he smelled of poop. And the reason for that is because he stopped bathing. He might have bathed once a year. Now, when you're in a house like, the house that they were in, you can't help but smell like that, especially if you're not bathing at all. All right, I'm going to play this.
Open up against the stars, hands to Mars. No one ever will defeat us.
Okay, I paused it because what you can't see. He had his tongue split into two. So it would be more like a snake.
You got me going, spending time and time again. Carousel, carousel.
Right, the picture you just saw with the head thing on, that was around 9/11. So he wanted to do anything he could to stand out. He wanted to do anything he could to make people in that Christian community look down on him or be scared of him.
You got me falling, tripping, calling through it again.
All right, this one is the same girl you just saw with him. Her name is Amber. She was his wife. They weren't actually married, but that's what they said. That was his wife. She was his number one.
We can reach the moon and stars, yeah. Carousel, carousel. You got me going, tripping, calling through it again. Seems that hard, times we never meant for us. All the time.
Now, it's not a very good picture to show it, but another thing that he did while he was high on meth was he took a Dremel tool and he used a Dremel tool to make his teeth very sharp and pointy so that when he done the sacrifices that he could bite into it better. He also would drink his girlfriend and him would drink each other's blood. So that was another reason he wanted sharper teeth, so he could bite her and get the blood, and vice versa. I think she also did the same thing with her teeth.
Stars fade away with you in my.
Now, if I was his mom, I would not be sitting here smiling at what he's becoming. But I think that in a small way, she must have had mental problems also. And I don't know. It just amazes me as a mom with a son on meth, what she went through just to keep him in her home.
You got me going, spending time and time again. Carousel, carousel.
Okay, so I told y'all some about the house. I think the pictures that's coming up now are actual pictures of the house. You are going to be shocked.
Got me falling, tripping, calling through it again.
It was said that this house was absolutely beautiful before all this happened, from the girl, the neighbor that actually gave him a ride.
You got me going, tripping, calling through it again.
Okay, I didn't mean to let it go to that point. But anyway.
They actually tore the house down?
After he was convicted and went to prison, they condemned the house. I've got a video I'm going to try to bring up. It's actually of the officers and the investigators going in and condemning the house, looking at the house for the first time to condemn it.
That's
I
interesting
might have.
because the outside of the house looked nice.
Exactly. But they had destroyed. Okay, this is other people. That
Yeah, by the inside though, everything was destroyed, even the drywall, everything.
yes, everything. There was no repairing it. That's just how bad it was. I want to see if I can find. Yep, this is it here.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we also print
Dang
that
commercials.
and that too? Can't forget about that, or that either. So next time you think print, remember, when you use Vistaprint, print abilities are endless.
Presenting Home Chef Ready Meals. They're as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Combine the pre.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
This isn't showing the part of when the officers first got out of the car, but they were at the street, and you could hear one of the officers say, "Is that stink? Is that stench coming from that house?" And they were like, "Yes." And the officer was like, "God Almighty." Okay.
Okay. Well, this one will fail real quick.
Did y'all hear that? This one will fail real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely unfit for human habitat. No drainage.
That room's not too bad.
Touches. Yeah, okay. All right, let's get those. You get those rooms back there. Look at that. Jesus Christ.
That was a live animal. I mean, not alive, a dead animal.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Is that thing dead?
No, it's alive.
There's a live snake in the aquarium. It's still alive.
Watch your step. There's a lot of broken glass.
Okay.
This is the hallway, the bathroom.
Hmm. Don't believe any of my hoarding cases will match with this one.
This is the cleanest room in the house.
Huh?
This is the cleanest room in the house.
He said this is the cleanest room in the house. This is the mother's bedroom. Of course, by this time she had moved out, so I guess maybe she was packing or whatever, getting ready to leave the house.
Got it good.
All right, so y'all get the gist of it. That's pretty much it anyway.
Pretty good. Wow.
Now, you mothers out there, would you let your child do this? I don't think there's too many that would. Yep, you're right, Bling. She wasn't. But like I said before, there was 30 to 40 people in this house at all times, spaced out on whatever drugs they were doing, using the bathroom on the floors, killing animals, eating animals raw, drinking the blood of animals. This guy, one time, his friend, the one that was in the army, he came over and saw this guy pull something out. He said he didn't know if it was human flesh or what. Take a big bite of it and looked at him and said, "Satan will protect me." Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Next thing we're going to hear is from one of the friends. I think is what this one is.
The vampire movie, he was all those people.
Or actually, I think it's two of the friends. That's still the babysitter. So
8 years old. Johnny was to be there is some woman, the mama.
okay, that's not working.
I don't know if I just turned a blind eye or.
Soon, he further changed the way the world saw him. He legally changed his name from John Lawson to Pazuzu Algarad. Pazuzu, a demon featured in The Exorcist. Evan Pazuzu went to Daymark Recovery Services. Records show he was diagnosed with agoraphobia, an anxiety disorder centered around fearing or avoiding places that might cause you to feel panic. He left after 2 months and returned again in October of 2008. Within the next year is when Cynthia says she was in the home as Pazuzu and his spiritual wife, Amber Birch, killed Joshua Wetzler and Tommy Dean Welch.
I went back to my bedroom. I'm doing. Okay. Well, gosh, in the state he's in, he might shoot me. I don't think he would. He's had plenty
Hey, I'll try to hear that again.
I went back. Would.
Birch killed Joshua Wetzler and Tommy Dean Welch.
I went back to my bedroom. I'm doing. Okay. Well, gosh, in the state he's in, he might shoot me. I don't think he would. He's had plenty of opportunities to kill me if he wanted to.
This woman told Josh Wexler's ex-wife that her son was not as bad as everybody made him out to be. He was a good kid. What you think, Levi?
I
So far.
think that this is a crazy one. I like psychology, so now since you've given me the baseline story of this one, that there's obviously a psychological problem here. And I guess my question is do you think he was born with it or it developed over time? Meaning the changes in his lifestyle and his life and what he was around, did that change his psychological mental state and created a monster? And he couldn't get over it. There was nothing that was going to help him to get over it.
I think I think that his exposure, this is just my opinion, I think his exposure to the movies he watched, to the alcohol, it did something to his brain. And then whether he had the schizophrenia and the agoraphobia, I don't know. Because I think that his earlier records of the psychological evaluations are sealed because he was underage. But the newer ones, they even said that he was sane enough to stand trial. Personally, I think that someone that lives like that, someone that drinks blood, someone that kills multiple people, he's basically, I think he was a serial killer. I think he killed more people than we know about. I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know.
So he got locked up. Like, how long ago did he get locked up?
Okay, so I believe it was in. All right, so the first one he got 12 months probation for accessory to murder, and his probation. He didn't even. I mean, he was supposed to stay at his house. That was part of the probation, which wasn't a problem for him because he didn't like going out in public anyway. But his probation officer never went to the house to check on him. So Amber Birch, the blonde-headed, his wife, he had other. I haven't found them. I think maybe if I could get someone to help me dig a little bit more into it, I could probably find his past criminal record before even all this started, because he did have one. And apparently, Amber Birch did also. So Amber pleaded guilty to killing Tommy Dean Welch in 2017. But I believe that was after. Okay, in 2000, there was Frederick Wetzler and Tommy Dean Welch went missing in 2009. Pazuzu was arrested in 2010 when they did the search warrant of the home and found the bodies in the backyard. The mother, Cynthia James, expressed concern that if they didn't let him out so that he was allowed to do his animal sacrifice on the full moon, that he would kill himself. That was her excuse for trying to get him out of jail. He needed to do his sacrifice. So I will get into his death. I'll just go and tell you, he did commit suicide in prison. And the way he did it, he was in the Forsyth County jail, like your regular little county jail. And they couldn't handle him because he kept trying to kill himself. So instead, they moved him to Central Prison, which is the big prison in North Carolina, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. They moved him there for suicide watch. And I probably shouldn't be saying these words on here, but that's okay. And then somehow, even though he was on that watch, he was able to have enough time when nobody watching him to bite through his arm and bleed to death.
Bling brings up a good point. I think he was probably schizophrenic most of his life. Mom, not being a good mom, encouraged his bad behavior. Drugs, alcohol only make schizophrenia worse, especially if medicated.
Right.
When you have a chemical imbalance already from schizophrenia, and then have another one with drugs and alcohol being added to it, it does make you do things that you normally wouldn't. And the sad thing is that is there more people out there?
Right. And where are they buried? Where was his place? Because the first guy was found. We have a river here. It's called the Yadkin River. But the first guy was found there. I'm going to do, not today, but because everything's not working like I want it to, but I am going to cover. Do what?
I said you just have to keep practicing. Practice makes perfect.
Thank you.
Is this your first stream with the computer, right?
It is.
Yeah.
First time I've ever done anything with it. Oh, thank you.
Nice.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry to everybody. I think next time I do this, that I'm going to actually hook my computer up with a wire to my modem. And that might take off some of the, I don't know if it will or not, but it might help.
No.
So let's see, so he was actually recruiting people to come to his house. And the thing about the people that was murdered, like one of them's ex-wife, she is doing a lot of work to help prevent things like this in North Carolina. He has a son that she's raising alone. And she thinks that one reason he ended up there was because he was so depressed, because they had this big, huge farm. They lost the farm. It was repossessed by the bank. And he started selling drugs. And she left. She said, I love you. I want to still be friends with you and hang out with you, but I can't allow you to have this around my kids. Not that what he was doing was right, but he just felt like that he had no other choice. You know, he didn't know anything else, I guess, at that point. So he ended up getting some mushrooms in the mail, and that's how he got busted. Once he was busted, you know, it was a felony. He couldn't get a job. And so he just got deeper and deeper into it, you know. And here this guy is. He killed someone, got accessory to murder. And the guy that's got mushrooms in the mail got a bigger sentencing than the guy who murdered somebody. Makes absolutely no sense to me. That speaks a lot to the North Carolina justice system. And not just North Carolina, but nationwide, to the justice system. So he did, there was, like I said, there was the two women that he supposedly killed, never proven. Then you got the two that was found buried in the backyard. You got the man that was found on the Yadkin River. Amber, his girlfriend, did end up getting, let me see, I think that's coming up.
Imagine just the best day that you've ever had.
No, another commercial.
Your entire life was as good as that. Or maybe
So this was the, I think I already showed this, but this was a psychiatric evaluation. I don't know if you can read any of it.
Yeah, I can see it. You want me to read it?
If you want to. Just you don't have to read all of it, I guess. Just what you see.
Well, he was 31 at the time here, right? John Alexander Lawson was, is that saying that that's his father?
That's actually Pazuzu. That was his name before he changed the name.
Oh.
Yeah, see, Mr. Pazuzu Algarad, also known as.
He would be 44 right now, right?
That sounds about right. Yeah,
12
see, he
more
was
years.
born in 1978. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. 10 years younger than me. So, yeah.
So, white male was admitted for forensic evaluation of his capacity to proceeds. Lack of confidence at the onset of the evaluation. Go down a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. So the thing here, when was this? This was done. Form number DMH1 1995, right? So he was. I'm looking for a calculator. So in 1995, how old was he when this thing was done?
78, 80, 95, 50, 17?
17.
That
With
right?
all the drug use, and drinking, at the time that this was done, that could explain a lot, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
this is reopened. I don't know what this date here. Up at the top where it says 110/37/05.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be it's the Department of Health ID, I guess.
Oh,
number.
I got you. Yeah.
Admission date October 4th, 2010.
Yeah, but scroll down though, because at the bottom of this thing it says 1995. So see down there, go up just a little bit. So at the bottom of the last page, right there, see where it says form number.
Oh, that's when the form was created. That 95 has nothing to do with the case. This was actually, I see what you're saying now. But the form, like, I don't know if other states do it, but like when they update a form, they'll put the date it was updated on every one of the forms.
Okay. So this is really from when he was 31 years old. So,
yes.
Right?
And I think he actually died in, I want to say 2015, but yeah, because this was he was arrested in 2010. So when he went to court, they did wanted a psychological evaluation. All right, so let me read this to you. It says there have been many theories developed to explain the death of Pazuzu Algarad. However, Pazuzu killed himself in prison. He was moved from one prison to another for security and safekeeping. Authorities have noticed in the morning of the 28th of October 2015 that he was not responding and found a wound on the upper part of his left arm. He lost a lot of blood and then was pronounced dead. I think I made a mistake earlier, said his wrist, but there was something about him biting through his wrist. I think that might have been in the Forsyth County Jail. The bite he did this time was actually almost under his arm. So if you do this, right above your muscle, under your arm and your muscle, right in that area, is where he bit himself enough to die from it. I mean, he had normal blood pressure, normal height, but he didn't weigh but 118 pounds. And he was 5'8" tall.
That's interesting. And then there's his laboratories, and I don't know enough about what these levels are supposed to be. but I'd
Right.
be interested to see if you took these levels and see what levels are off by searching and seeing what is supposed to be normal and compared to what these are and what that means.
Right. I'll do that. I'll actually do that. And then next time.
Interesting to see if you can figure out here the unbalance was because of this. Is there more than one? Has he ever been evaluated besides this evaluation?
Supposedly he was evaluated when he was younger, like maybe 13, somewhere in there, when his mother said she first noticed him changing. I'm sorry, I just have a real problem with the mother. And I don't, and the other thing with this case that's very interesting and blows my mind, why she was never charged with one thing, not one. It was her house. She was there when both of the murders happened. She saw one of them laying on the floor. She knew that they had been put in the basement and then that they had been buried in the backyard, and was never charged. Now, there's another player in this case. There was, I think her name was Christina, hung out at the house, and Amber told her that she needed help burying this body. So this Christina was dating this man that was a lot older than her, who had a daughter younger than her, I think. And she actually got this man to go and help bury the body. Now, if this man hadn't died before all the charges came around, he probably would have been charged for accessory after the fact. But he had died before this happened. His daughter, there's videos of his daughter I want to show at some point of her talking about it, what her dad did. And she actually turned her dad in and told the police everything. And that was one of the contributing factors to them finding the bodies, I guess. She said that her dad came in that night and he looked kind of weird, had mud on him, and he went and washed up, and then he sat down in the chair. And then she said he sat there and he put his hands to his nose. And when he did, she said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Have you ever smelled the smell of death?" And he told her what he did. Some people say no, he didn't tell her what he did. Some say he did. It's kind of a controversial thing, but when she tells about it, it's more understanding. So I want to play that at some point when we're doing this. I want to share the ex-wife. She has a lot of information about what happened. She actually also was one that got them to go to the house and actually serve the search warrant to look for the bodies, because she had been hearing around town that that's where her ex-husband was. Also, her ex-husband, his car had been found, I think, I want to say a year. I don't have everything in front of me, so because I wasn't going to go this far into it today, but just to tell you what I'm going to do later on. I think that they had found his car a year earlier and never reported it. They just towed it to the impound yard, never told his family they found it or anything. So when the ex-wife went to the police, she's like, "Look, he's been missing this long. You know, why wasn't his probation officer looking for him?" Because his probation officer had called her, and she says, "I have no idea where he's at." And so you would think the probation officer or the police would be looking for him for breaking probation. No, they weren't. The car was found. So when she went and made the missing person report, they said, "Oh, was this his car?" "Yeah." "Oh, this was found. It's in our impound yard. I think it's already been destroyed. It was found over a year ago." No family was contacted.
Wow.
So many failures in these police in this area. And I know that since all this happened, I know there's been tons of changes, hopefully for the better. But it's sad. This whole case is sad and crazy, and now you can see why I was like so excited about doing it and sharing it with everybody. Because I live in North Carolina, so you know, I don't have any like special insight because they don't live close to where I do. That was the inside the house. This was let's see. That's not what I want.
So there's suggestion for you. So we will I think you can break this into and break it down and do several like hour lives on it.
Mm-hmm.
And for you do really, really good research digging into I see when I was looking, a lot of channels do the overview and like a broad status of what's going on and that are out there. Hi, Arctic. And breaking it down so that people realize the insides of everything, like those documents, and going in and breaking those down so that people understand what is exactly going on. Because I see a lot of channels did like a broad, I don't know, like a 40-minute video just explaining like the house. Like you gave a good overview, but now break it down even further into the mother and into the psychiatric evaluation, and do like one live on just this psychological evaluation that he had, and talk about and break down the things in there that you find that are inconsistencies, and from what is normal, and normal is based on statistics, but and base that off of schizophrenia, because right, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and something else, or he was never diagnosed.
Yeah, agoraphobia, which from what I was told, I think is afraid to go out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then schizophrenia, alcoholism, drug addict.
Because I'm really interested in to see those that blood work levels, and what's normal for those types of patients compared to, like, break them down and see what those are compared to like what is the normal supposed to be for those levels, because that would be very, very interesting to find out. And in that evaluation, then, is there a new evaluation that was done? Like, was there autopsy ever?
There was an autopsy.
So I wonder if blood work there is different than the blood work from the original diagnosis. Because at his first one, you could probably pretty much bet if he was locked up the whole time until he died, his levels are going to be different than when he first came in because of the drugs that he was on.
Right.
So that's going to be a total different. It will be interesting to see it. I am waiting to see it. Just because the levels are going to be the drugs that he was on and stuff, you'll be able to see what levels it affected when he first came in or not, because later on his medicine should have flatlined out those blood work levels.
Right.
Does that make sense? And then
yes, absolutely. That's
normal for schizophrenia and those diagnoses on what those levels are supposed to be.
Yep. that's a good thing to do, and I will do that.
Yeah.
Because I do have there is a copy of his autopsy report. The one that I found is not complete though, so I do want to see if I can find the full autopsy report. And then, like you said, that's a very good point of comparing them. And I wonder if they put him in, once he was arrested, I don't know if, and I guess I could find this out too, if North Carolina has any type of detox program for people they lock up, or they just put in there in the jail and go through the sickness and everything by themselves with no help. So I don't know about that. So that's one thing I'd like to know also. There is also, there's an interview that I want to show that was of the wife of the guy that was killed, the ex-wife, where she actually went to the mother's house years later. This has been years later. Went to the mother's house and asked why, what happened. She wanted to know the details. Like, why was he even there? Why was Josh even there? That's not the type of people he would normally hang out with. So why was he even there?
Yeah.
So there's that. There's so much. I mean, this case has so many rabbit holes.
Yeah, no, definitely. And continue doing your research on, because I think breaking it down and normalizing it for people that you did some gruesome things, and definitely getting those noted and figuring out why. So I think the different levels will be interesting to see. Because I think you could probably trace that blood work back to see if he was on like certain illegal street drugs, like mushrooms, for example.
Mhm.
In the blood work, you should be able to figure out what a person's levels would be on what if they were on mushrooms or other drugs like meth or other stuff. Because that all plays in a big, huge part, especially when your psychology isn't all there from the beginning. So, and life changes in lifestyle really affect people as well. So, like when he got locked up, like, it really affected him because it wasn't his normal lifestyle, his normal place. And they were probably trying different drugs on him, but eventually weaning him off of them. And that could be a big play in what happened to him. So,
Right.
yeah, I like it.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, you need to keep going on it because it's a very interesting story.
Now, there has been other people, of course, that did some of this. I don't think that they've done it. There's one that's like a 5-part series that's really good about this case, but they didn't go into the details that I want to go into.
Yep.
Like you said, the whys and the physical part of it, the mental part of it, and how that many people could know about these crimes and not ever speak out. There's interviews from the friend that did speak out, the one that was in the Army. There's a friend from a couple that used to go there, and there's a interview from another friend that Pazuzu told him that if anybody came out of the basement, don't let them escape. And he was like, yeah, man, okay, yeah, right. If anybody comes up those stairs, I'll keep them here, not believing that anybody was down there.
Yeah.
I think there should have been a lot more arrests. I think the mother should have been arrested.
Well, and that's the other thing in those interviews, like going through and even bringing them down, like play them. And after you get like research and you understand what's going on more with like understanding what those people were and how they affected him, how they influenced him. And breaking those down because you can find different things in them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even call a little bit. Maybe even call like the sheriff's department or something and get a question. Why was she not? And get an answer from them.
Well, yeah, there may be a good answer. Maybe they're still working on it, or maybe they're not, or who knows? Maybe they're working on, and some of that stuff you won't be able to say, but maybe they're putting stuff to it. I don't know, but that'd be interesting just for your peace of mind. On are they still actively investigating other people that have gone missing, or other people that
a little bit
that they've found deceased and they couldn't figure out who had killed them or anything, and being able to just do a little research and see if they knew each other or anything. So definitely is a good one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I think this is a good place to end it and for today.
Yeah. You spoke a lot about you to obviously do good work. And
I appreciate that.
The electronics and stuff, they'll get easier and easier over time.
Right.
So as you do them, so as starting out new on YouTube, all your old videos will be, you'll be like, oh man, I wish I could redo it. And the thing is that I always encourage people when they're covering like a case like this, where it's an older case, go through, you're going to learn doing what you're doing. So you did a very good job today. And then you can always go back and redo it, but leave this one up and then redo it to show people where you've gone from starting out your first time sharing your screen. So being able to go from there, and you can always do it again. So you always have a lot of information and dig into stuff. So I'm not worried about the information. So you're on mute, just so you know.
Pulled a purple again. But yeah, I appreciate that. I told my husband, I was like, why am I still like, I was nervous before we came on. Like, I was like, why am I so nervous? I'm on YouTube all the time talking to people, but I guess it's different.
Well, because you're dealing. So I had the same thing when I started covering cases. So yes, mistakes are going to happen, or you're going to misspeak about something. The biggest thing is owning up to it and changing it and correcting it. And you can say, hey, in my last video, you can always put it in the description of the video. I always like to pin comments if I make a mistake or say somebody's name wrong or something. Pin it in your comment section so when they watch it, when they go into the comment section, they see, hey, I made this mistake here, instead of deleting the whole video, because that doesn't make sense. You could say, hey, these are things that I found out later that are wrong in this video, and then pin comment and then say, go to my description, because you can always change the description. So those are good things to do. And hopefully you don't live like right next door to us. I'm just kidding.
No. But that's a whole nother live to do is, what were the red flags? What should we look for in our neighborhood for red flags? Yeah, we did have somebody similar to this in our neighborhood she was on drugs. She was schizophrenic. She was a freaking nut. I wasn't scared of her. They didn't never kill anybody that I know of or anything like that. But, but they're gone. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody has in their neighborhood that one home that you're like, wow, that place is junky. That sort of, anyway.
I don't know.
That's another rabbit hole.
I moved to the country, so I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. I moved to the country too, but now the city's moved to us. So now we're hoping to sell within the next year and get back in the country. So thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You've helped me a lot, more than you know.
Yeah, just keep going. And when you go live again and you need me up here, just do it. You should be confident. Right. I mean, you have all the stuff and information, and Sometimes it just takes. It's always easier to do a live when you're with somebody, because then you
It
can
definitely is.
ideas off. It makes it more exciting. But you'll get to the point where you can, by having enough people on panel talking about a case, you'll get to the point of you already know what that other person's going to ask you. So like when me and Arctic are on panel a lot together, I already know what he's going to ask me when I'm doing my lives by myself. So I just already just use that as part of my life. So you kind of hear what would this person be asking, or what's this side of the fence on it. And having more people, like even if you showed all the information and had people in chat, and there's a lot of people here that go on panels many times, then you break down and have a panel session like after you show everything. And then you can open up panel and you can have other people give their insights on it and stuff, and their opinions matter. The thing is you display the facts at the beginning, and then you can have like a table discussion about it. So, yeah. And they'll find things that you won't necessarily catch either, because everybody sees things differently. So,
right.
Yeah. And I didn't even look at anything. I just looked. I saw who was covering it and stuff, and I saw some that I'm going to watch, but I'm going to wait until you're done with all of yours, and I'm going to go watch theirs.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because
I'm getting the information from you, so I'm not biased on what is going on, because I don't want to give you conflict. Oh no, I heard this over here. I don't want to do that. I want the information to come from you, and then I'll go back and listen to some other people and go from there.
And if you do find something that's a conflict, then we can, we can dig into it and make sure, or I can dig into it or whatever and make sure what the truth is. And which basically the information I've gotten from, I think I was so overwhelmed with information with so many different aspects of the case. And like I said, so many rabbit holes that you can go down if you break it down so much. So I agree with you. I think this was a great start and introduction to it, and then we can break it, or I can break it down later. And I would love to have you back on panel at least, like at the end, and get your opinion and what you've thought of, what your thoughts are or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just so you know, and just schedule it like how you always do. I've been working with me and Arctic have been working with Vegas, the Vegas Angels, on helping them bring some people home and showing some exposure. So, and then I have another foundation that I've been doing some work with. So I get busy. So just how you do it is perfect, because then I say, hey, I'm busy between this time, because two new cases of 2 new missing people came in while we were alive, and
oh wow.
Which is fine. It's just I was sitting here typing and doing other stuff while we were here, and I learn. I see everything. So just continue going through it, and I would love to come back.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. And look at you. You even have a background on your thing, and I don't even know how to do that yet. I'm so.
Yeah, that background was actually Pazuzu's house.
I think when you do it, because you're on your tablet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing it this way allows you to free up bandwidth on your computer. Does that make sense? Because then you're not dragging so like when the cameras are on, that's using bandwidth too. So if you're doing a camera from your computer, it's drawing more bandwidth. So I think when they're separate, and always I've learned this, and I'll tell you, when you have links all set up and already where to go, you want to do it like you probably were nervous, just like how I get. And I set them up like 30 minutes before I go live. Well, the problem when you do that is that they're running in the background and they're not buffering. So if like you want to copy the links, have them like in like a WordPad. And then as soon as like 5 minutes before you go live, take them all and put all the links in, because then it won't sit there and spin. But I've dealt with this for a long time, and I always forget to do it. And but it
Right.
helps because as you're showing it, it like buffers up to speed, but it stops for a while and like cuts it off to where it has to refresh. So that's what happens when that happens. So
Thank you for that advice. I will
yeah,
definitely take any advice I can get.
yeah.
So
And just keep going. And yeah. The phone's blowing up over here.
sounds good. Okay. Do you want to share anything about the missing that you were just talking about? That you just
I mean, I could share these. I have them up here already. Here, hold on 1 second. We'll teach you how to do this real quick. Well, I think you already know how to do it.
And while he's pulling that up, I just want to say, everybody, thank you for coming. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to chat as much as I normally do. If you guys want to write down any questions, and then maybe one of my lives will be a question answer about what's going on and the questions that you guys have.
I think when you're doing cases, it's easier to explain the case. And then at the end, like letting everybody know at the beginning that, hey, I'm going over a whole bunch of information. I'm not going to be looking at chat until the end. If you have a question, until the end, even if it's at an earlier part, because then it's like question and answer time at the end. Otherwise, you'll get distracted and run to a whole different area. It works way easier.
Right.
So,
yep.
Just click the allow me to share the screen. You're in. There you go. So this is what is this? This is a 71-year-old man, Milton Meltz. He is from Las Vegas. We're trying to bring him home. He may be living. He went missing August 15th, 2022. He may be living in a 2015 Chrysler minivan, model color unknown. He's 71 years old, 5'6", 240 pounds, brown eyes, gray hair. Last seen wearing, they don't know what he was wearing. Has several missing teeth and walks with a limp. There's the picture of him. If you have any information on his location, please call Las Vegas Police Department at 702-828-3111. Or if you know where he likes to hang out and stuff, contact the Vegas Angels at 725-222-8565. And there is another one, but I don't have that one done yet. So I'll be getting that one done here in a minute. So this organization, the Vegas Angels, is like a very, very powerful organization. So you're on mute, so you know. You're on mute. Just so.
Again, I was trying to mute my dog out earlier from barking.
Oh yeah.
So you said they're in Las Vegas?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yep. They just started. The Vegas Angels just started this year in April. They've already brought 21 people. Like they do a lot of runaways and like the cases.
Wow,
where
that's amazing.
Like a police actual investigation into them, like a criminal investigation. So they cover a lot of those, which is awesome because there's not a lot of police resources in the ones that are missing or runaway. Like this guy is an older guy. He could have dementia. He could have gone the wrong way. It's putting out the information and helping the family to get answers, I guess. And they're good organizations. So
that's amazing.
Yes, indeed. All right, I'm going to get going.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, goodbye, everybody in chat. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thank you, everybody, like I said, for being here. Sorry I wasn't able to pay attention to chat. I knew my good mods had it. I'm definitely going to be going into this more. Like we talked about, I knew it was going to be more than a one-day thing because there's so much information, so many things that happen, so many people involved with this case. And so I look forward to next time doing this. thank you. Definitely. Thank you, Levi, for being here and doing this with me and helping me out. I love you guys. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow with more. Thanks, Bling. I appreciate it.